October 15th at 2024 at 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. First, some safety and logistics. Please note the fire exits. In an emergency, walk quickly to the exits. Do not use the elevators. Restrooms are to my right in the hallway. The agenda is on the table at the entrance, and we will follow it in that order. The town board welcomes public input at every meeting. When speaking, step up to the lectern, use the mic, and state your name and address. Meetings are recorded and broadcast online. Speak into the mic for clarity. Each speaker has 3 minutes. Extensions may be granted by the board. Madam Clerk will be the timekeeper. Personal attacks on staff, officials, audience members, or anyone before the board is not tolerated. All speakers must be respectful. Inappropriate conduct will result in termination of speaking time. The public input period is not a discussion. The board will not respond to comments. Address all questions and comments to the town board supervisor. I will notify each speaker when their time is up. Statements made or the speaker's opinion. It is up to each individual to verify the facts. An educated public is essential for democracy. From time to time, presenters appear before the board at the request of the supervisor or the town board. They educate the town and the board on specific topics. The supervisor and the board determines the time needed for each presentation. Madam Clerk, read the roll.
Supervisor Evans.
Here.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Here.
Councilman Malone.
Present.
Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Attorney for the town.
Present.
We had another very eventful month. Last week we screened an indigenous film called This Is My Grandmother, Bev and Carol at the library, followed the next day by a Seneca land recognition ceremony with the West and East Ironquois schools and the Seneca Nation. On Friday, we raised the Haudenosaunee flag in honor of Indigenous Peoples Month and read a proclamation. We had our last outdoor farmers market, and we had a tremendous success. I think, Madam Director, we average 1,300 visitors per market, which is pretty outstanding community support. And I think you'll talk about more of that later. This raises the quality of life for all our residents and our visitors, and I just wanted to commend you for a great job throughout the season for you and your staff. We look forward to the second season of our indoor marketplace. The tentative budget is posted. Again, this is a draft. Changes will be made as we see appropriate. And we had our first workshop today. Thank you very much for everyone who participated. And the remainder of the budget dates are the 2025 town budget workshops. The second budget workshop is October 16th at 5:30 p.m. There's a special meeting on October 21st at 4 p.m. to adopt the preliminary budget. Public hearing for the budget on November 7th at 7:35 p.m. Special meeting on November 18th at 4 p.m. to adopt the budget. And please check out Town Library and Rec Center websites for existing events planned throughout this month, in addition to all the budget meetings. Finally, we celebrate the opening of Ellen's Place with the ribbon cutting on Thursday. You're welcome. And that concludes all the announcements. We have 2 public hearings. Madam Clerk, scheduled to begin at 7:35. And now we'll move to the public input period. Okay, seems like we have no one signed up for public input. Is there anyone here that wishes to, is there another sheet?
I think there was a mistake on the sign-in sheets.
Okay,
One is for the public hearing and one is for the
town board, okay.
Input.
Forgive my voice, it seems like it's going out, so, okay, we have 3 people signed up for public input. The first person signed up is Mark Holodo.
Hi, my name is Mark Haldo. I live at 39 Schnackle Drive. And I'm here usually to talk about the short-term rentals. There was a new one that happened, actually is still happening. The people have stayed there for about a week now. Both vehicles are from out of state, and they are going out and hunting. So now we have people that are from out of state with, I don't know what, shotguns or whatever they're doing. Don't know if they have an actual hunting license. Don't know any of that that's happening. But again, there are new people that are just staying at a house in our neighborhood that now are bringing, weapons into the neighborhood. I have video of him carrying a rifle bag down my driveway to get in another vehicle to go out hunting. He's been doing it every morning. So I don't know who's supposed to monitor whether this is legal, not legal. Do they have a license? Should you be bringing a weapon over state lines? I have no idea. But that's another thing that you guys need to probably think about. I never thought about it before, but till it happened, like I said, this week. So something else to think about while you're doing whatever with the short-term rentals. Thank you.
Thanks very much. The next person to speak is Marcia Enright.
Good evening. My name is Marcia Enright. I live at 75 Clay Avenue. So after a year and a half, I'm sure you know why I'm here, short-term rentals. The other night I went to Shamrock Jack's for dinner. Great place to go, great food. But the question becomes, do I want to live next door? No, I don't think so. I hear the town has an approval list for electricians and plumbers. Will they also have to have an approval list for property managers for these short-term rentals? Will short-term rentals have to notify Chief Peters with guest names, plate numbers, as they do in the town of Greece? And this is prior to arrival. They have to notify Mike Wood. Will guests have to notify, again, IPD, when they're coming in here with weapons? Should they have to go and register with them? Are these weapons legal? Are these legal people that are carrying them? Should STRs be allowed to pass through somebody's property to get to the property you're going to? There's a lot of common driveways, a lot of easements over in this area. Should they be allowed there where they have to pass through someone else's property? I'm sure, very sure, that you've had almost zero complaints on a bed and breakfast. And the reason you don't get complaints is because the property owner themselves is there. They meet and greet when you come in. They are there for the duration of your stay. They police themselves. The town doesn't have to be involved, neither does the police department. You currently have the code under home occupation, and it says no motels. The state says they are motels. Also, I'm very confused. I filed a FOIL request, and I asked how many registered renters in this town actually live in this town, work, and send their kids to school in this town. The answer was the town does not keep that information. Now, if I come in here and registered my rental, that means the town should have the information someplace. But it came back to me that they do not maintain this information. If you're not going to maintain the information, what's the sense in having rental registration whatsoever? Do you people actually want to spend the money you got to spend to police these if you allow them? Thank you.
Thank you. The next person to speak is Charlie Snyder.
Good evening. I'm here for the rezoning of 2305 Portland Avenue.
Please state your name and address, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Charlie Snyder, 2496 Oakview Drive. I've lived in Arundecoit at that address now 20 years. Grew up on Portland Avenue, know this area very well. I think it would be a great opportunity to have something go in there to get rid of that eyesore of a building. As you can see, it's not looking really good, and I think it would be absolutely great for Arundecoit, another business, small business. I think that would be good for the neighborhood, good for that corner, and bring some business opportunities. And I think it would be tremendous, the business that will go in there. I think there are just many advantages to having it compared to disadvantages. So I hope we can get that rezoned for business, and I think it would be a great thing for Arundecoit. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to address the board? Please step to the lectern. Please give your name and address.
Jerry Sipniak, 2295 Portland Avenue. I live right next door to the residents of 2305, right next door. I have spoken to Sam, who is going to move his catering business into that building, and I want to say that I appreciate all the work that he's talked to me about, that he's going to do to the property, and would recommend that it be rezoned for a business. And it's about all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Is there anyone else that wishes to address the board? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, we have a financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Sorry, Madam Controller, do we have a financial report?
The 2024 financial results as of September 30th. 75% of the year has elapsed, and the town's total expenses, actual expenditures, and encumbrances of $32,044,000 are lower than budget at 71.4%. Actual expenses are $30,180,000, or 67.2% of budget, and encumbrances are $1,863,000, or 4.1% of budget. Typically, encumbrances are still sizable at this point in the year as departments are committing to services, supplies, and commodities that will be needed for the remainder of the year. The general fund total expenses of $21,458,000 are below budget at 73%. The actual expenditures are $20,690,000, and encumbrances are $768,000. Encumbrances include townwide street lighting, legal fees, EMS services, and other contracted expenses throughout the town. Overall, the total expenses of the highway funds are $4,599,000, or 73.9% of budget, lower than the 75% of the year that has elapsed. Actual expenditures are $3,808,000, and encumbrances total $790,000. The costs continue to be driven by considerable expenses and encumbrances for gas, fuel, road salt, equipment parts, and road paving. Library expenditures are lower than budget at 65.4%, a year-to-date total of $1,868,000. Expenses in the sewer fund of $2,734,000 are below budget at 66.7%. Actual expenses are $2,461,000 and encumbrances are $273,000. Stormwater drainage expenses are approximately 45% of budget, a total of $423,000. The general fund has received 78.1% of budgeted revenue at $20,773,000. Real estate tax of $12,790,000 has been collected. 128% of the payment in lieu of tax revenue of $298,000 is in. The town has recorded 5 months of sales tax revenue in the amount of $2,744,000, or 41% of budget. Aid and incentive to municipality revenues of $613,000 was received in September. Recreation has received 88.7% of its budgeted revenue as of September 30th. Regarding the entire town, $34,457,000, or 82.7% of revenue and appropriated fund balance has been received to date. Approximately $19,279,000 is from real estate tax. At month end, the library has confirmed revenue of $2,829,000, or 99.4% of budget. 85.7%, or $5,176,000 of revenue has been received by the highway funds. 101.8% of revenue in the sewer fund has been received. Stormwater drainage has verified 100.9% of its budgeted revenue at $948,000. Page 3 of the financial report presents the third quarter year-to-date summary in comparison to the prior 6 years. Regarding expenditures by fund, which is shown at the top third of the page, the overall 71.4% of total budget spent and encumbered is comparable to the prior 5 years. The middle third of the page contains revenue for the general fund, and the bottom third of the page allows for revenue comparisons of the other funds, with the last line reflecting the bottom line collective revenue and appropriated fund balance for the town. The 2024 general fund revenue reflects 78.1% of budget received to date, on par with the 2023 and prior year revenues. The revenue and appropriated fund balance for the town as a whole is 82.7%, which is similar to the prior 5 years. Minor revenue variations are common due to timing of receipts and/or budget changes year over year. In addition, American Rescue funds of $22,455,000 have been received. The use of this funding is restricted for the response to relief of COVID-19. This funding must be allocated to projects no later than December 31st, 2024, and expended by December 31st, 2026. Approximately $21,811,000, or 97%, has been allocated to projects. Of this allocation, approximately $15,721,000 has been expended, and $4,186,000 remains encumbered for various projects. This concludes the financial report for the month of September.
Thank you, Madam Controller. May I have a motion to adopt the financial report?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any corrections, questions, or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The financial report is adopted. Madam Clerk, we have 2 sets of minutes to approve.
Approval of September 12th, 2024 workshop board meeting minutes.
May I get a motion to approve the September 12th?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions, comments, or revisions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The minutes are approved. Madam Clerk?
Approval of September 17th, 2024 regular town board meeting minutes.
May I have a motion to approve?
Moved.
Second? Any questions, comments, or revisions?
Just have one comment. The minutes are fine. I think we have to post the resolution that was passed after the executive session. That's all. It needs to be posted.
So we don't normally post resolutions in the minutes, so that's something we wouldn't
Well,
have
I
to
just
vote
think
on
because
as a
there's money
board.
coming out of the general fund, I think that's the point I'm trying to make, that's all. That the general fund, there's money coming out of the general fund,
But in minutes, we normally do not post resolutions. I'm just saying that's the way it's been in previous years. So if we want it put in to the minutes, we just
Okay.
need to vote on it.
I just thought because it's coming out of the general fund, that I thought it should be posted, so they know the,
Diana, other general fund resolutions, are they posted in minutes?
They are not.
Any other questions, comments, or revisions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The minutes are approved. We have several items for board action this afternoon. Madam Clerk, can you read the first item?
Item number 1, authorizing the permanent appointment of a code compliance coordinator.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. We have an upcoming retirement in the Community Development Office for the Code Compliance Coordinator, currently in title. We do have an individual in the department who is trained and was reachable on a civil service list. That individual is Lydia Shurin, who has worked for the town for 8 years, started here as a clerk, moved to assistant building inspector, and has since been trained to take over this position.
Any questions or comments? With that, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted, and I don't see Lydia here. Congratulations, Lydia. Madam Clerk, read the next item.
Item number 2, authorizing the provisional appointment of a recreation supervisor.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The Recreation Department has had a vacancy, a recreation supervisor position that we've been anxiously awaiting to fill. We recently hosted a series of approximately 7 candidate interviews. We are very pleased to recommend Christopher Chavez as our recreation supervisor, focusing on fitness and athletics. Chris comes to us with a wealth of experience and education in recreation and sports and fitness. He has worked for municipalities as well as nonprofit organizations, including several YMCA organizations where he held leadership roles in each. We are very, very excited to bring Chris to the board this evening, and we look forward to working with him as this resolution moves forward.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Is Chris with us tonight? And Chris, please stand for your recognition.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 3, calling for a public hearing on the matter of granting a conditional special use permit for 55 and 61 Waldo Avenue in R2 Residential District.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
Second. May I have an explanation?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. As discussed at the Town Board Workshop meeting, this is in regards to a conditional special use permit for the properties of 55 and 61 Waldo Avenue for the use of a nonprofit organization, the Margaret Home. Resolution is for the accepting, referring, and calling of the public hearing for next month.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 4, adopting local law to establish a 6-month extension of the current moratorium on short-term rentals.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. This is as part of our effort in terms of information gathering for short-term rental legislation or potential legislation. We felt it was important to extend this beyond the current moratorium, which is the end of November, so that we can gather all the public input necessary to make an informed decision.
Any questions or comments?
I'll just thank you to the residents that have come to the two open houses and given their input, and those residents that answered the survey questions too. It gives us more information, and I know that we're gathering other information as far as what other towns and municipalities are doing, but this just extending this will give us that much more time to really do this right the first time.
Mr. Director, how many people filled out the survey? Do you have an estimate?
We had just under 500 people.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 5, calling for a public hearing on the results of the short-term rental survey.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yeah, relative to what was just mentioned, the survey results, we've compiled that information and we'd like to share them with the public along with having a public input session to further discuss the issue of short-term rentals.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 6, appointing a Conservation Board chairperson.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution is in regards to a resignation. Our previous chairperson of the Conservation Board, Krista Greer, has resigned and unfortunately moved out of town. The board discussed and would like to present Mr. Daniel David to serve as the chairperson of the Irondequoit Conservation Board with a term expiring December 31st of 2025. In addition, we would also like to thank Krista for her many years of service to the town.
And I also want to extend that thanks. Christy was a great chair, very knowledgeable environmentalist, and is Krista here?
David's here.
David's here, okay. All right.
Daniel David, excuse me.
All right. So I just want to thank her for her service. Any other questions or comments? And I also know Mr. Daniel Davids, and I look forward to working with you should this resolution pass. Seeing no other questions or comments, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Mr. Daniel David, please stand for recognition.
Thank you.
I would like to make one comment.
Please step up to the podium.
Daniel David at 35 Keswick. We're very short-staffed right now. I mean, in addition to Krista leaving, we've had a couple other people resign recently. We're supposed to have a board of 9 people, and we're down to 5. So if anyone knows anyone who is interested in the Conservation Board, we would really appreciate you looking into it. Our meetings are open to the public. They're the first Wednesday of every month. So if you'd rather just come and observe first and before you decide if you want to join, that's fine, but we could really use some more interested people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item number 7, calling for a public hearing on the letter of intent to apply for the Restore New York NYS grant program.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
Second.
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. As part of the town's intent to apply for grants that are available to assist with developing the town, this is the first step in a multi-step process to identify projects in town that could qualify for the Restore New York grant program. We've identified 2 projects. One would be at 4530 St. Paul Boulevard and the other at 400 Skyview Center Parkway. This would open up that for discussion from the public.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, read the next item.
Item number 8, authorizing the calling of a public hearing concerning the 2025 preliminary budget.
Motion to adopt.
Moved.
May I have a second? May I have an explanation?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution is part of the annual budget process. We are required to have a public hearing on the budget, on the preliminary budget. This resolution will call that public hearing to be held on November 7th, 2024 at 7:35.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, the next item?
Item number 9, authorizing the purchase of one 24-foot enclosed trailer to be used by the Department of Public Works.
Motion to adopt? May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution would award the replacement of our dig trailer within the sanitation division to the, for the use of our dig trailer within, so this, we obtained 3 quotes, and this would allow us to go with the lowest quote to replace the trailer.
Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, next item?
Item number 10, authorizing the supervisor to enter an intermunicipal agreement with St. Paul Fire District.
Motion to adopt?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation?
Yes, thank you. This is the intermunicipal agreement with the St. Paul Fire District. We carry these with all the fire districts in town. It's for us to do maintenance on either their property or on their vehicles and equipment, and they would reimburse us for the time and materials to do such work.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, do you have the next item?
Item number 11, approving capital improvement management plan.
Motion to adopt?
Move it.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have an explanation? Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. As we talked last week, this is the 5-year projection for capital improvement plans within town. Next year, we're looking at improvements within our town parks, as well as sanitary sewer laterals and mains, and a vehicle and replacement equipment plan.
Any questions or comments?
We talked at the meeting about the animal impound facility. Is that something we want to do at a later date, or is that something?
We should add the animal, we're gonna do it now. We'll amend the CIP to add an animal shelter for animal control.
Oh, the dog?
Yes.
Okay. Could you want to add that now?
Yes, we can add it now as an amended CIP, so
Okay.
we'll rewrite it and put the corrected, put it corrected into the capital improvement plan.
Are we putting an amount in a year or now, or we're saying?
We do have it in amount. We won't do a year. As we say, we're working on a couple of grants, and we'll find out after November 5th whether or not we've been awarded that grant, and then we can go forward from there.
Peter, we did put together a grant application for that effort, so I do think if me and Chief dig through, we could find a dollar value on what we put in for the grant. That be okay?
Depends on what you put in for the grant.
I understand. Chief, do you recall?
I think it was like $1.5 million or.
I don't, I know we're eligible for $250,000, and I think we put in for the max amount. But
That sounds right,
yeah.
I think,
I mean, do we have to
yeah,
resolve this tonight, or can it be put off for another month when an appropriate amount put in?
Yeah, we'll just say that we're going to amend it for the, we'll amend it for the animal shelter, and then we'll get the right amount. I think, is that an appropriate thing to do, Mr. Attorney?
Yeah, I don't think there's any other way you can do it, or you could put in 250,000, which is the amount of the grant, and then amend it later. If there's more money from other funds, then you can certainly add that to further development, but I think the safer approach is to go with the 250,000.
Okay.
Okay.
All in favor of amending the CIP for 250,000 for an animal shelter?
We need a motion.
We need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The motion's approved. All in favor for, may I have a motion to add the CIP
As amended.
as amended? May I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The amendment is adopted.
Could I ask a question? Granted, I have the packet from the workshop, but the prior resolution before this said Point Pleasant, not St. Paul, in our packet. Was it a?
Yeah, I apologize. That was a mistake. The one we voted on tonight was correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk, I think we have a public hearing.
At this time, we're calling for the public hearing at 7:35. On the, you gotta open it.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Moved.
May I have a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The hearing is now open. Could the Director of Development provide an explanation, please?
Thank you, Mr.
I'm
Supervisor.
sorry.
I need to.
I'm sorry, 1 second.
Read it.
Madam Clerk?
On the item number 1 under public hearing, on the matter of approving an application for the rezoning 2305 Portland Avenue from R6 Residential District to C Business District.
I'm sorry, would you
Madam
like to
Secretary?
have the public hearing if there's anyone in addition to speak that already spoke?
Well, first I'm sorry. I didn't understand your question.
I thought you were holding the public hearing right now.
Yes, the public hearing is now open.
Okay, so this is in regards to rezoning 2305 Portland Avenue from R6 Residential to C Business District for the use of a takeout food business.
We'll now accept public comments for those who hadn't spoke already. Please step to the lectern.
Wait.
1 second.
All right, there's two people just standing at once, but we're good.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Daryl Krumstig. I'm the owner and principal of Krumstig Architecture. We're working as the agent for Samuel. Sam is the owner and operator of Battitini's Catering. Sam recently purchased 2305 earlier Portland Avenue in the beginning of the year. We and Sam submitted the application for rezoning of 2305 Portland Avenue from R6 to C Business. A little bit about Sam. Sam is a lifelong resident of Irondequoit with deep roots here in the community. He graduated from high school in 2002 from East Ridge. He currently lives here. His immediate family is here and also his extended family. Sam owns 8 homes in Irondequoit, and each one is rented to families of the community. A little bit about his catering business. In 2014, Sam started this business as a way to generate some additional revenue. 10 years later, he's now celebrating a 10-year anniversary. He didn't know he was going to work this hard. They managed through COVID shutdowns, all while serving the community of Irondequoit by building a strong reputation for quality food and excellent service. Currently, they operate out of 1963 East Ridge Road, where they lease space. 3 years ago, Sam started to look for a space where he could own and build equity. As you know, the real estate market has been challenging, especially for those looking for a commercial space. Sam wants to stay in Irondequoit, where his family is and where his customers are. And Sam is competing for space on East Ridge Road on Ridge Road, with the likes of finance, franchise businesses like McDonald's, Starbucks, and other times he's trying to get space from landowners that are holding out and not leasing, not selling space in hopes of demolishing for future development. Interest rates are high, and it's been tough. 2305 Portland Avenue has an interesting history. In appearance, in many ways, it's a residential property. It's adjacent to C business zoning. In 1976, it was actually rezoned as a commercial use building. And then it was...
Just this time? How much more time do you need, sir?
Just a few minutes. Just a
Okay.
few minutes.
All right.
Most recently, it's currently zoned as R6, which allows for some commercial activity. And the only thing that's missing from this property is to use this property as a takeout food business from the zoning designation. Battazzini's Catering, it's a catering business. So this is a place where orders are called in. Some folks want to meet Sam in person before they place an order for their event, but primarily orders are placed online or called in and then delivered. Battazzini's Catering is a kitchen. It's a place where food is made for events and parties, special occasions, business lunches, and just for someone who wants to have good food catered for the event. Sam has 2 Ford Transit vans that he uses for delivery that are parked at his business. He has a few employees. He's even said that his mom works there. Not everyone is there at the same time. I believe Sam in this business is the type of business that is called out in the comprehensive plan in section 3.9 neighborhood commercial. What we've done is we've submitted the application. We have been before the planning board. They recommended a positive referral. They did have a few comments, which we've done some work to adjust. The application has been referred to the county, GM 239-M. We've received their comments, and those can be addressed. We completed Seeker Part 1, and from what Michelle has said, Parts 2 and 3 will be completed by the town or her department. And Sam has spoken to his neighbors, and so far, I believe everyone is in favor. We did a little research on, after our last meeting at the workshop and speaking with you, as it's currently zoned as an R6, there is, the property can't meet the parking requirement of R6. And so I think with that, Michelle did some digging and found some interesting history that currently states.
Thank you, sir. That'd be 6 minutes.
Great. Well, thank you. And I'm here to answer any questions if you have them for me.
Does anyone else wish to speak? Please step to the lectern. Ma'am, you can come up and just come on right after he finishes.
Good evening, how are you?
Your name and your address?
Yeah, name is Thomas D. Piazza Jr. It's D-I-P-I-A-Z-Z-A. I live at 117 North Ridgelawn Drive, which is a cul-de-sac right off of Titus, and I can see the subject property right from my home. I have a few comments. I want to thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. I'll try to be succinct on my comments. First thing I wanted to bring to everyone's attention is the Town of Arundecoit's Comprehensive Master Plan, which you know is a PDF on your town website. Page 60 of that plan talks about future land use classifications. It indicates that future commercial development will be focused in areas where commercial uses currently exist, and most importantly, it says, in all commercial areas, efforts will be made to increase the amount of development without allowing the commercial areas to expand in size. So when we take a look at the commercial areas, we've got Titus Auto right on the corner. It's an adjacent property. I think everyone's familiar with that. That's been there since I was a kid. Right next to it is a subject property. So allowing a change in zoning would, in effect, expand the commercial use above and beyond. It creates a commercial corridor down Portland Avenue. We have some residential kind of business properties at the corner of Titus and Portland. Insurance companies, I think there's a salon there. We got some rentals, but we don't have anything like this. Nothing like the Titus Auto, and nothing which could be developed at the Portland site if the zoning changes. If someone were to buy Titus Avenue, the Titus Auto property, combine it with the Portland property, they could build anything they wanted under the C district, business district. There's no requirement that the external appearance of the building have any resemblance to a residential type dwelling. That's a big distinction between section 235.22, which is the R6 residential districts, and the 235.27 town code, which talks about the C business districts. So you have a situation where when the code was put together, people thought it out, and they did not want the type of dwellings that weren't going to be characteristic with a residential area. So I think that that's a major impediment here. To allow this would be inconsistent with the town's comprehensive plan. The other thing, just a few negative impacts. The C business use includes restaurants. So it's right in the statute, right in the code. Restaurants or eating establishments, takeout food businesses, drive-in hamburger, ice cream, food or beverage stands with seating for 30 patrons or less. So you could put anything you want there within the permitted uses under that particular code section. So I just heard this gentleman over here talk about a catering business.
Thank you, sir.
I've allowed him a couple more minutes. Can I just have like one more minute?
One more minute.
Okay. All right. The other thing is traffic flow is a problem. Inadequate parking. We have a tough time getting in and out of Titus Avenue. You got visual pollution. Screens are not going to be sufficient. Health concerns with garbage, rodents, that type of thing. And inadequate parking. You're going to have people park on Portland Avenue or on Titus Avenue. Where's the parking going to be? And what type of noise pollution are you going to get? So those are basically my comments.
Thank you. Your name and address, ma'am?
My name is Maureen DiPiazza. I live at 117 North Ridgelawn Drive. I've lived there for
Ma'am,
almost...
can you just lower the mic so I can, thanks.
I've lived there for almost 40 years. I can see the property in question from my front yard. I'm opposed to the conversion of this residential property to a commercial property. I'm familiar with this property because I walk around Arundecoit every single day, year-round, and I walk past this location every single day. In fact, I walked past this property 3 hours ago. Currently, on all four corners of Portland and Titus, that intersection, it is commercial now. Every single property at that corner. Two of those properties were residential homes years ago, and now they're commercial. They were previously residential homes. The traffic at this intersection is terrible. Many cars drive right through the red lights. They don't stop on the right on red. It makes no difference if there's strollers, if there's dogs, if there's people in these intersections, they go right on through. This property would be the very next driveway off of Portland Ave, coming right by the auto shop there. Right now, there's many cars every day that go diagonally right through Titus Auto to avoid the light. They go right through from the Portland Avenue section and from Titus Avenue to avoid the section. Last year, I was almost hit by a car from one of these properties. They missed me by inches coming out, were on their phone, paid no attention, and never even stopped. Currently, on our street, we live on a cul-de-sac, so there's no other way out. We have to wait almost 10 minutes sometimes to make a turn going east on Titus Avenue. It's just the wait times are terrible, and it's any time of the day or night with the traffic lined up on Titus Avenue. I would respectfully ask that anyone who really thinks this is a good idea to please come over to our neighborhood and stand there for an hour and watch this craziness with the traffic, people going through the red lights, people almost getting hit by cars, and the traffic that we have to, and the congestion that we have to deal with on a daily basis without adding another area that was residential into a commercial property, because it's like a slippery slope. When does this stop? Will the next house on Portland go up and somebody will pave their front yard and backyard and use the next house on Portland or the next house on Oakview? I mean, when does it stop? So I would respectfully ask somebody come over and look at the traffic pattern before this is put through. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? I will now open up for discussions. Do you have any questions from the board?
Was there a traffic study done prior to this resolution for that corner?
Madam Secretary?
Not with the rezoning application.
Okay,
If it were to go for the site plan approval for the planning board, then possibly.
okay, yeah.
Any other questions?
Excuse me. So back in 1977, this was rezoned as C commercial, and the variance stating the applicant demonstrated the desire to keep the property in a more residential-looking state rather than cover the front of the property with asphalt. If we choose to make it C again, is there the possibility to make the stipulation that it stays residential in character?
Variance also runs with the property.
It's what?
The variance, something like that.
Yeah, maybe it is, sorry.
Sorry. The variance that was granted back in 1977, having less than minimal parking allowable on the premises, that was originally approved when it was in the C commercial district, will run with the property, where it also stated that it demonstrates a desire to keep the property in a more residential-looking state rather than cover the front of the property with asphalt. Also, in February of 1977 is when the town board approved the rezoning from commercial zoning district to R6 to use the existing building for offices, and the application was approved to amend the zoning district back then. This application is asking for it to go from R6 to C business.
So in 1977, it was a zoning board of appeals matter that, for the rezoning, not a town board matter.
No, I believe it was town board. The 1976 was when it was before the zoning board to convert the structure from a one-family dwelling into a two-family dwelling. The appeal was granted on the condition that there were no exterior structural changes and that the said premises shall be used in such a manner as not to cause a nuisance to neighboring property or residents residing in the vicinity thereof, and that off-street parking shall be provided for automobiles of those residing in the said premises. In December, they applied to the planning board to use the existing structure for professional offices in the C commercial district, which was approved subject to the applicant present an application to the town board to rezone the property from commercial to R6, as well as eliminate the parking spaces 1 through 4 on the site plan and provide shrubs around the east and south perimeter of the remaining parking spaces. Then it continued on to the zoning board for the parking variance. And then it continued on to the zoning board, or excuse me, town board for the actual rezoning.
So in 1976, and I'm having a little trouble following, it was C commercial.
Correct.
And that was because the E district became C? There was not really a rezoning, it was a master plan?
I'm not exactly sure, Peter, that was in 1963, it was an E district, and I tried to look up what represented the E district, and I really couldn't find anything in our records, but in searching online, whether for what it's worth, it was relative to being commercial, E district.
So at some point between 63 and 76, it became commercial district. And then most of the subsequent actions were to make it R6, and then...
Correct.
January, it went back to C from R6. See, wait. No,
Uh,
77, it was continued as a C. And then in February of 77, they went from C to R6. Right.
Correct.
All right.
So this property's been both over the years. It's gone back and forth from R6 to C. So, Mr. Attorney, is there anything that,
No, it sounds like essentially the property owner is looking to revert back to what had happened in January 2077, when the premises became C business with a condition that the property be maintained in a more residential looking state. That's what the application is.
so we return it back to the original state as a residential dwelling,
No, it's a C business.
as a C business?
Yeah.
I mean, I would feel more comfortable considering the rezoning in light of the fact that the building has minimal parking and maintains its residential character.
I would agree with that.
I agree.
And I would also, again, emphasize after hearing the comments here tonight, a traffic study. Because I'm really concerned about the comments that were made about the traffic, because I've lived over in that neighborhood myself before I moved, and it's an issue. So we should consider if it's a possibility. I just want to, mention it now before we move forward.
I'm sorry, sir, I can't remember your name.
I do think that's a matter for the planning board and not the town
well,
board.
then-
But we could recommend that the planning board consider.
Oh, that's,
And there is I will point out that the planning board did note a recommendation that the applicant comes back to the planning board regarding proposed change of use.
okay.
Yeah.
So there was a contemplation.
I mean, I do believe that there should be a site plan review subsequent to this for the use. I mean, there is refuse, there's vehicle storage, there's entry and exit, I don't know, handicap accessibility items might be consideration, traffic, lighting, all those things need to be addressed by the planning board.
But I think the main thing in the use of the facility, if I understand what you said correctly, sir, is that this isn't where people drive in. It's a delivery business, not you come and pick it up.
Well, there was testimony tonight that people do come and pick up food.
That's right.
All right.
You're correct, Peter. Yeah. They talked about a takeout, people picking up, and a catering also. So that's a consideration.
Do we have a percentage, please, do you have a percentage of people that come to pick up food versus delivery?
I don't know the exact percentages, but what Sam tells me is that predominantly how his business operates is that people call in and he delivers. There's minimal people that come to his establishment to, sometimes it's getting comfortable with Sam. Here I'm doing an event. I want to meet you before you cater my event, and that happens. Some people do pick up the food, but predominantly he takes the order and delivers.
Are these the pickups or deliveries? These are more larger orders. Is this someone, hey, I want to have pasta for dinner?
Yeah.
So it's not going to
I mean,
be,
hotel pans, half hotel pans full of whatever, and if somebody's picking it up or he's delivering, it's still a trip.
no, I
mean,
understand that, but
yeah.
but I guess I'm trying to,
He's not really doing individual meals where someone's calling in for an order of pasta. He's
A single serving of chicken French on the
Correct.
side
exactly.
of whatever.
yes, that's what I was trying to get at.
This is a hotel
This is-
pan and chicken French,
Right.
whatever.
And I do understand that, but this isn't going to be 25 people for dinner, individual dinners. Do you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, to me, like, there still may be an order for people, a catering event. And if a person picks it up or he delivers it, it's still the same amount of traffic.
Additional to what's there right now.
Right.
Right.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, sir. I'll now take up a motion to allow the rezoning.
Well, I think we need to close the public.
I'm sorry.
Public hearing.
If there are any more comments?
Just add something to this, because
Okay,
I've known this business from the beginning.
right, sir.
So I didn't know.
Can you please state your name and?
Yep, Charlie Snyder, 2496 Oakview Drive. So I've known Sam from the beginning, him building this business from the beginning and wanting to stay in Arundecoit specifically. The business that he has right now, if you were to go check it out, it's probably a quarter of this room. So he has to have traffic come in and out of there. There's really nowhere to park there. So he delivers pretty much everything. Anything from birthdays to weddings. Pretty much I don't know how many times I've had things catered from him. Food's excellent also, highly recommended. But it's minimal traffic at best. I can't tell you how many times I said, Sam, I will come and pick it up. Nope, I'll deliver it to you. So he would rather deliver the food than have people come and get it. He's very mindful of this. He's very mindful of the business. He's very mindful of the traffic. He's good for the community, and I think it would be a great business there. And I know everybody's worried about the traffic, kind of the Whole Foods thing over in Penfield, that whole thing. So I would say the traffic is minimal at best as far as anyone coming to pick up their food. He would rather deliver it. Let's just say that. So he runs a great business. He's very mindful. He's, community guy, takes care of the people. I can keep going on and on. He's just a great guy and great for the community, and I don't think anyone will be disappointed if you okay this and let him go through with this building. It will look great. You will be pleased. We will get rid of an eyesore, and Arundecoit will be better for it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, you had another comment? One second.
Can you wait?
The actual zoning allows...
Your name and address, sir.
Oh, again? Okay. Thomas D. Piazza, Jr., 117 North Ridgelawn Drive.
Thank you.
Okay. I mentioned earlier that when I looked at the town code, it does allow for restaurants, eating establishments. I guess one of my concerns was, is there going to be a big restaurant built there? I mean, you combine the parcels, Titus Auto, you combine Portland Avenue. Can you build a big restaurant, which is not within the character of the residential dwelling units that we talked about earlier, that we mentioned, that people mentioned?
Yeah, I think, sir,
I would assume it would be, if you guys were going to consider it, it would be very narrowed.
okay, I think that's beyond the scope of what we were asked to look at. We're looking at one parcel, one property. What could be is not what we're being asked to look at this time. Thank you very much. Seeing no other questions or comments, I'll now take up a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a motion?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? The hearing is now closed. Madam Clerk, we've now move on to the public hearing item for board action.
Item number 1, regarding state environmental quality review at compliance in the matter of rezoning 2305 Portland Avenue from R6 Residential District to C Business District.
May I have a motion?
I'll move it.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any additional explanations?
Just that the board has received the short environmental assessment form with respect to the rezoning and would offer this to be as an unlisted action with a negative declaration.
Any discussions or questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk, could you now move on to the public hearing item for board action?
Item number 2, approving an application on the matter of rezoning 2305 Portland Avenue from R6 Residential District to C Business District.
May I have a motion?
Move it.
So, okay,
May I have a second?
second.
Any additional explanations? Any discussions or questions?
I would say that I would like to amend the resolution or add on to it that we would want the residential character of the existing building to remain. I want to say limited parking, but I feel like that's a part of planning board approval, and I'm not sure that
Point to be, yeah.
I mean, maybe, and I don't know how enforceable minimal parking impact is from a legal standpoint. It's very vague, but.
Could we say no more parking than exists?
I believe there was
Yeah.
a variance, and the variance would have particular language.
Right,
And I believe the language would maintain the residential character and integrity
Right.
Yeah.
of the property.
right,
We don't need to do that.
yeah.
It's already there.
I don't think it's necessary. Shall, is that the variance language? More or less?
There, I'm sorry, I had it right here. More or less, yes, I would say, having less than minimal parking allowable on the premises in the C Commercial District.
But it doesn't say anything about residential character.
And it says approve the variance stating that the applicant demonstrated a desire to keep the property in a more residential-looking state rather than cover the front property with asphalt.
Okay?
I would say this, with the asphalt in the front thing, I think the parking is, as per you said, but the building must maintain its residential character.
So,
There's a desire to.
so there should be an amendment to the motion that the building
Required to maintain, yep.
remains residential in character. We have a motion to approve the amendment.
I'll move it.
Second,
Second.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. May I have a motion to approve the resolution, my thought it's gone, as amended?
I'll move it.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussions or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. This concludes our hearing. We will now return to the agenda. Madam Clerk, can you read the next item?
Item number 12, approving the special event license for the annual Run Like Hell 5K race.
May I have a motion to adopt?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any corrections or questions or comments? I'm sorry. Motion to adopt?
Moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? May I have an explanation?
So this is the annual race that they hold every year. All the approvals are in, and the insurance has approved it in all departments.
Any questions or comments?
Was there a date for the event?
The 26th of October.
Yes, 26.
It's in the,
Right after the devil catches you.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
it's no
Thank you.
further.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. Madam Clerk?
That's the end of the resolutions.
Well, at the end of my voice, this concludes the regular town board meeting. Our next meetings are as follows. October 16th at 5:30 for the budget workshop number 2. October 21st for special town board to adopt the preliminary budget. October 7th at 7:35 for budget public hearing. November 7th. November 12th at 4 p.m. for the next town board workshop meeting. November 18th for the special meeting to adopt the budget, November 19th for the next regular town board meeting. This concludes our October 15th regular town board meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The meeting is adjourned.